okay? And you also would get pork halves in, halves of pigs. Sometimes they still have the hair on, so you had the job of shaving the pig skin or burning it with a blowtorch. Okay, burning that off. That was always fun and stinky. But my cousin started working there also, and this is a fun thing. We would put a 2x4 up on the side of the building, and we put nails in it. We put like 200 nails in it. And he would start from that end, and I'd start from this end. And we'd see who could slaughter the most chickens the quickest. It was nothing to think about then, slaughtering a chicken. That's what you did.
Right.
You killed the chicken, you dressed it out, and you ate it. It was for food. But we would chop the head off, and stick the heads up on those nails. And so the man that owned the store come walking around one day, and he sees like a couple hundred chicken heads sticking off the side. And he says, all he said was, "No, this isn't going to happen again." So, but you would, just stretch their head between two nails, chop, throw them in the hot water, and then once you got that full, the hot water can full, then you would start plucking the feathers and all that, and take the clean chickens and sell them.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, so Ryan looks.
But I guess part of it does feel kind of weird, just because I guess it just feels odd. Were there any other sanitary things done besides that?
Oh, like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, I won, I'll tell you, I won a turkey one time when my children were very young, Bob and Teresa. And I won a turkey, because they still did those kind of things.
Right.
I won a live turkey from the fire department was having a raffle, and I won the turkey. The problem was, you understand where I came from, and that I could go ahead and slaughter a chicken because I was going to eat it and didn't think a thing of it. Or I could go across the street, shoot a rabbit, bring it home, skin it out, and clean it, and put it on the table for meat. I mean, that was just life.
Right.
In fact, I don't remember when I was at my grandmother's house, I don't remember my uncles or anybody ever going to a store. You grew all of your vegetables in the backyard. We had a cherry tree, we had a lemon tree that would produce a few lemons.
It was a lot easier to self-sustain.
Absolutely self-sustained. You did not have to go to the store at all. Everything you had. And all of that, all your vegetables and everything was canned. You made your own sauerkraut. You made your own mustards. You made your own wine if you wanted wine. You would bury your vegetables like carrots and potatoes and stuff like that in a big sandbox in the cool basement. And it would last almost all winter. And sometimes you would pull some of them out, and they might have little spots on it, and you just peel that off. And you would can all those things too. You'd bring a pork side home and help your grandmother on the kitchen sink and counter cut that pig into every piece you could think of, including the feet, and then pickle the feet, because there was called pickles pig's feet, and you'd eat that. That was a delicacy, actually.
Right.
That was a thing to have with beer when they had beer. and they would make their own beer downstairs. So that was the way of life.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
So I know you like to travel all across the country.
Yeah.
Do you know when that kind of started?
Most of my I traveled a lot on vacations. Even when I was working with Cincinnati Bell, I always liked to travel. And in fact, when I wrote this little thing up, I put in there that was one of my desires when I was a young person, because I had never traveled that much at all. But when I got into it worked out that when I did that on vacation, but when I got into doing the cellular, I was in every state in the Union, sometimes for 2-3 months at a time in every state. I was in Europe, in the Netherlands, Germany, France, and we did all of that area for cell sites. And so, yeah, I got to do a lot of travel. I got so used to it, I've been back and forth across this country just for pleasure 18 times.
Wow. It's a lot of times.
Different routes each time.
Yeah, and you
I suggest, as young people, you do it.
and you drive it.
I drive it
Yeah, that's
because it's so beautiful every
Right.
time. I don't care how many times you do it.
Do you go like a different way each time, or?
Yeah, there's all the routes are different. In the wintertime, if you're going to do it any time during the winter months, you got to try to do it on the bottom routes, which is like Route 20 and 10, all the way out to California, because that keeps you down below snow belts. Okay, and you come up then. I think it's Route 48. I can't remember if it's 48 or 40. I think it's Route 40. And Route 40 then is the next one up, and you can do that pretty much this time of the year. You could start that, but you got to watch your weather because it does get some snow belts. They're still having some of that down in there. And then you get up to, I think it's 90 and then 80, and that takes you through the out through Colorado and out through Montana and all that. It's all different. Beautiful country. Suggest you got young guys, do it. You can fly it. I suggest you drive it.
How long would it take you, usually?
You can get there. You can get all the way to the coast from here on the 4th day.
Okay.
Easy. You can make it on the 3rd day, but you're really pushing it. On the 4th day, you're doing about 600 miles a day.
It's a lot of miles a day.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of miles.
But if you figure you get on a freeway, now you got to understand now, the first time I went across this country, I went across with friends just for vacation, and there wasn't any freeways. So that was a beautiful trip. I wouldn't mind doing it again, only because you go through all the little towns.
Right.
You go to the mom and pop little mom and pop restaurants, and you meet people and you see what's going on and that kind of thing. The freeways, you might see a jackrabbit now and then. You do see, when you're traveling like that, you get on similar, you see antelope, you see elk, you see this country. Yeah. It's beautiful. So.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you find about now that's most different from when you were growing up that you miss the most about when you were growing up?
Well, you guys, because I've seen you do well and you do things other than that, but I see too many young people today, in my opinion, okay? I see too many young people today on this thing, okay? And I use this thing today, but I use it if I want to call someone, if I want to look something up, but I don't use it for hours at a time. Yeah. And when you meet people all day, when you talk with people, when you interact with people, to me that's what's fun. Learning people. And when you get caught up in texting and this, that, and the other, stop and think of how one-dimensional that is. And you try to dress it up with smiles and ha-has and all that. But how many times have you gone back and forth, 20 times, where you could have said something in like 2 minutes and got the point across?
Right.
So
Yeah.
these are fantastic, and I was the guy that
You're to blame.
that started it all. But no, we're using them in the wrong way.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, not the wrong way, but we're using them in place of very important things, and I think that's interacting with each other. So, my opinion.
Yeah.
I guess in some ways I just